Hello, everyone.
I live on train.
Welcome back from break.
The Orabrush.
We had some comments that was darker in here. Does it look a little better now? Thumbs up. Let's do a YouTube thumbs
good.
up, thumbs down. Things okay? Excellent. My name's Sara Hall, and I'm moderating this awesome session with three great speakers on having a best in practice, top-notch YouTube presence. So thank you for bearing with us prior to lunch. This session's brought to you by Bucci, and they want you to think about this. Did you ever wonder what would happen if YouTube, Facebook, and Bizarre Voice had a threesome? The resulting love child would be a lot like Bucci, and they give your audience and best customers a fast, drop-dead, simple way to create video reviews via mobile phones and tablets. And then those videos are given turbo boosters on the social graph. They'll drive traffic, engagement, and yes, conversion, and they make it all happen with just one click. Today they're running a drawing for a $50 Amex gift card, so just drop your card in the bowl. That's going to be going around during this session, and they'll draw at the end of the day. Like I said, we've got three great speakers from very different companies here today. On the far left, or your right, we've got Leslie Drake. She's the manager of social media at Cisco, and she oversees all of the strategic planning, operations, and marketing of Cisco's social media platforms. They serve the global Cisco community, and she's been named a top digital strategist by the Online Marketing Institute this year. She's a 20-plus year marketing veteran with a background in web strategy, social media, and e-commerce. She's an expert on the Cisco video landscape and building effective videos for the B2B audience. From a very different business, we've got Anthony Bucci, who's one of the founding partners of Revzilla.com. He's helped drive revenues from 0 to mid-8 figures in just under 4 years without raising any outside capital. And as the business continues its rapid growth, he oversees creative, marketing, content, and media strategy, as well as executive responsibilities. He's got over a decade of experience in consumer-facing e-commerce, and as part of his 15-plus years in software development, holds a founder role at his company. Anthony and his company were recently lauded by us, YouTube, as one of their inaugural class of YouTube marketing ambassadors. And then there's Abe, who's from Orabrush, another of YouTube's favorite case studies. He's a marketing manager and oversees their multi-million-dollar advertising business to drive sales both online and at retail for their oral care products. Abe's got a background in economics and statistics, so he has a very data-driven approach, which allows him to find key insights that drive their marketing efforts. He's been a great player in Orabrush's meteoric rise, and his expertise in AdWords has landed him all kinds of fun meetings at YouTube and Google. So thank you to all three of you. I'm going to let each of them tell their story for a few minutes, and then we'll have a panel of questions right before lunch. Leslie?
All right.
Tag, you're in.
Tag. Yep. All right, I don't need this. Okay, guys, we've got 10 minutes and 10 tips on YouTube. These are good, meaty tips for those of you who are producing videos and setting up your YouTube channels, so I'm happy to share those with you. Again, I'm Leslie from Cisco. Cisco makes about 1,500 videos a year. We have over 4,000 videos on YouTube now. Every time I talk, I have to up it by about 1,000. It's crazy. We make so many videos. We made 192 new videos in July. So I've done some analysis to really understand how these videos are performing and how we could do it better. As long as you're making that many videos, it's a good idea to understand what's going on. So we've got about 1,600 videos on Cisco.com, and those get 2 million views. 25% of those are global, which means they're translated into other languages. We have 80 different global Cisco.com channels. So our completion rates hover around 30 to 33%. I don't know if you guys all know about completion rates or have thought it through, but only about 1/3 of your viewers are making it to the end of your video, so keep some of the good stuff up at the front of the video. Average view time on our site is 2 minutes, and all of our top videos are very product-oriented because we have an IT decision maker coming to our site. So we have business decision makers and CXOs and that kind of stuff too, but generally, people are very task-focused when they come to Cisco.com. We've got over 4,000 videos on YouTube, 3 million views in 1 year alone, so now we've got 7 million views on our channel. We're really proud of that. We do think that we're one of the leaders in the IT space around YouTube. We try to innovate as much as we can. So our views on mobile devices, 13%. I'm guessing YouTube's higher than that in general. Our average view time is 2 minutes on YouTube too. So, you know, the last speaker I saw downstairs in the last hour was 1 minute on their channel. I'm going to show you a little stat around that. We've got the 28 global YouTube channels. All right, so I try to get our internal stakeholders to think about these questions before they produce new videos. Do they really need a video? I'm not sure everybody who produced the 192 new videos really thought through whether they needed a video. They just had budget. So who is the audience? Where are they in the purchasing cycle? What do they need to help them complete the sales process at that stage? I mean, really, it's for them, right? It's not for you. You don't have a quota of videos you need to produce. Where were they before they watched the video? Think about where they were. And where are they going to be after they watch the video? That helps you determine your call to action. There's a journey that they're going through regardless of the cost of your item. And that's how you know what type of video to produce. You know, before you start to produce the video, really understand that customer and where they are in the journey. So let's see, key takeaways. Just really think about, do you really need the video? Actually, how much you spend on the video doesn't matter. I know a lot of you guys don't have big budgets the way Cisco does to produce a video. It doesn't really matter. It matters what that customer needs to see at that juncture, right? So you basically need to deliver the information they need to complete the task that they have at hand. And think about how you're going to do that in the video. It's not how much you're spending. And we see that all the time on our views. We have some very inexpensive product videos that I talked about earlier, the 15 top videos. Those are our cheapest videos, and those are our top videos. So we have people who are fact-finding. They don't need elaborate brand videos that cost $1 million. So when you make a video, think about how you're going to use it over and over again, right? Like you're going to place it on social media. You're going to post it to your website. You're going to come back and post it to social media again with a different thumbnail, right? Like you're not just going to post it once. Everybody doesn't see it on Facebook. I think it's like 16% of your audience sees it when you post it to Facebook. So then think about posting it 3 more times over the course of the first few months. You can switch out your thumbnails. So just think about how you're going to use that video over and over and over again. You're not just producing it, throwing it up on YouTube, and moving on. So link to it from other pages, use it on your blogs. So you're using different types of videos at different stages of the sales process, and I talked about this a little bit before. You've got people who are just learning about Cisco in our case. Those guys get the brand videos. They just get the overview. What is Cisco? What do? We make networking equipment, by the way, and help people in business, in growing their businesses and technology. And so what we're trying to do is explain how we can partner with them in their technology journey, right? And that's at the early stages. When they get all the way down the sales funnel and they're trying to decide which model switch, now they're comparing 2 models, now they need a video data sheet. So there's different types of videos depending on where they are in the sales process. And here we've documented how we have all different kinds of videos. So you think about, I don't know if you guys have more than one kind of video. If you do, just think about how they categorize, where do they go in the sales journey. We have, we figure about 10 different kinds of videos. This is really helpful for us to categorize and bucket our videos. And I guess not everybody's doing that. Sara was telling me that this is something that's somewhat unique to us. We recommend it. The length of the video is key. We all know that, right? So I just wanted to say YouTube, 60 to 90 seconds. This is an old chart that I use over and over again, but it still remains the same. You're hitting them quickly. I don't know, do you still say 60 to 90 seconds? Okay, we say that for YouTube. We say for Cisco.com, if it's a video data sheet, it's 4 minutes. If it's a brand overview, it's 1 minute. They vary by type of video. You have to think about the length of the video before you produce it and write your script. Don't just write a script telling your story. Yeah, think about how long you've got the attention span of the viewer. So downloads aren't limited to the workday anymore. If you really think about when you're watching your videos, you're going home and you're sitting back and watching video. Or maybe you're you're getting emails in the morning with videos attached to them, like LinkedIn sends you a video in the morning and you've got your news feed on LinkedIn and you're watching some videos then. They have like a morning drive time that they talk about and the lean back time at night. So think about the fact that you've got to post your videos on the weekends. Don't forget about weekends. Weekends are huge. That's when people have time to watch video. So it's not just the work day if you're B2B. And I'm sure for you, those of you who are B2C know that as well. The annotations and the calls to actions are absolutely critical. I used to talk about this, and it was new, and now everybody in the room hopefully knows about annotations, and they're using calls to actions. If you have a description on your YouTube video and you use the full URL starting with http:/, that will also be clickable. So don't forget all the opportunities you have for people to click through on your annotation, on your description. And thumbnails are really key, and this is a tip that I stole from Mark Robertson from Real SEO. This idea about thumbnails is like your billboard, right? So I think a lot of us just plunk our video up. We choose one of the 3 thumbnails that YouTube recommends, but you can actually pull in any image you want to that thumbnail. When your subscribers get notification that you have a new video, they see the thumbnail. So you want your thumbnail to be really, really good at that time. You can go back and change your thumbnail later if there's some reason you need to change it. You could update it on an ongoing basis so that you get more attention to that video. Maybe somebody comes back and they see a different thumbnail and they click on your video. So think about thumbnails. I tell my internal stakeholders this whole viral video thing is a myth. We did have a viral video once, but we spent money to drive it to be viral. We didn't spend as much as we could have to get the 7 million views. But the idea for us now is really 25,000 is a fantastic amount of views on YouTube for a video for us. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be true for Orabrush or other companies at all. But if you want, at our company, if you want more than that, you're going to have to plan some money into your budget to get views on the video. So we talked about reusing your video, but you also have to think about when you're budgeting for the video, to save money to promote the video. If you just plunk it on YouTube, you may have optimized it for search and people will find it, but not as many people are going to find it as if you put some dollars behind it, and they're not. And I'm sure Sara can tell you more about how to do that. And then optimizing for search. YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine on the web, so don't forget your titles, tags, descriptions. It's really basic. Don't keyword spam. 2 to 4 keywords is good when you're tagging. And those are my tips. So think about why you're making the video. Don't worry so much about how much you're spending. You've got to tell your story to that customer in the best way possible. Think about the length of the video. Keep it posted in many different ways. Don't forget to promote your video over and over again. Don't just promote it once. Think about your thumbnails, keyword search. Those are my tips for today. You can find me on Twitter at Leslie Drake.
On the Twitters. Oh, wait, swap mics?
No, I have
No,
my own.
you should be good.
It's falling off too.
There's a handheld if you want it.
Okay, I got this one. Okay, hi. One of the things I was thinking just as they were presenting is how awesome online video is when you think of like a company like Cisco and then Revzilla doing motorcycles, and I'm with a company called Orabrush and we sell tongue cleaners. And it's like video can be used for so many different things. My colleague presented here last year and I heard somebody was mentioning Orabrush yesterday, so I just so I can kind of customize my message to you, how many of you have heard of Orabrush before? A lot, but not all. Where's the clicker?
Should be on the left.
Here
right
we
there.
go. So this is kind of what we've done. We have 70 million views on YouTube, 191,000 YouTube subscribers, and 340 Facebook fans. One of the things that's unique about our company, Orabrush, is we were built using only YouTube marketing. We didn't really use any other type of marketing, so people talk about the traditional, we don't know about it. We only know this new video stuff, but we love it, and it's a really exciting place to play in. Just so you know our products, because I'm going to talk about them briefly, we have a brush, it's a tongue cleaner, a foam that goes on the brush, kind of like toothpaste for a toothbrush, and the Orapup, which is like a brush for dogs, which is actually where I'm going to spend most of my time today. Just real quick as a recap, for those who don't know, in those who may have already heard this story. Basically, 75-year-old inventor, Dr. Bob, invents this tongue cleaner. I'm not sure why he was so passionate about it, but he was. And he spent like 10 years trying to market this thing. And it didn't really work out. He tried infomercials. He tried, going to retail, different things, and meets a marketing student who creates a video on YouTube, and the thing starts taking off. And one of the reasons for that, I think, is the product requires some education. 90% of bad breath comes from a dirty tongue. And understanding how the Orabrush cleans the tongue. And video provides like the perfect opportunity to like educate people. And so that's something we really think about when we're creating videos, is how are we educating people? So anyway, that's kind of the story of Orabrush. I got involved shortly after. We ended up selling $1 million worth of brushes in the first year, which was really exciting. I really like one of the things that's been said. It was said in the keynote, Susie mentioned that like even Dove Real Beauty sketches, that they started buying views for their video. I saw that, I was just like, oh man, that video just went viral, right? And what was mentioned here too about videos not necessarily being viral. Our video here has 18 million views. We bought 11 million of them. Okay, so every time we buy a view, we get about 0.7 views. So buy 100, get 70. Not quite enough to push itself, have the video push its own views, like some companies do. But one of the things I think that's exciting about that is, some people are let down, like, oh, we thought you just went viral and you got big and it was free. But knowing that we paid for it and we had like a method to what we did is exciting to me, because that means what we did is replicatable. And we did replicate it with the Orapup. So the Orapup, as I said, is a brush for dogs. It helped them clean their breath. One of the things that like dog owners really like about it is the dog does it themselves. You hold the brush out, the dog comes up and licks the brush, cleans their mouth. A lot better than having to force a dog with like brushing their teeth. The dog views it as like a treat. So anyway, this was a product we wanted to launch for a while. People would try the Orabrush, said, hey, you guys should make one for dogs. So we did. But being a small company, with our cash, we're kind of cautious. Which projects do we want to put our cash into? And so we wanted to get into this, but we didn't know how consumers would react. So we started out using crowdfunding. Most people are familiar with Kickstarter. They don't like a lot of consumer brand products, like more creative things and technology. So we were on the site Indiegogo. We put this out, and we decided to run a campaign to see how consumer interest in this was. We wanted to raise $40,000. By the time into the campaign, we had raised $62,000, and it was going really well as far as pre-orders. So we kind of set up our own pre-order on our site, and before we launched the product, which we actually just launched in March, we had sold about $1 million of product in pre-orders, and since then another. So that's been really exciting. But anyway, to talk about building an online presence and kind of the strategy we used, as was mentioned, we're very data-driven. And if I put my finger on here, will they see a cursor? Oh yeah, they'll see a cursor. So I kind of want to just talk about this graph just briefly so you can understand our approach. So this kind of shows our Indiegogo era where we were on the crowdfunding site. And essentially, you can see the growth was minimal. We did try some things. Actually, let me go to the next one. You can see some of the things we tried. So these are the various optimizations we made over time. We're very big on testing things, testing different videos, testing different thumbnails, calls to actions, annotations, changing things on our website to find out what works best, what appeals to the consumer. When we were on Indiegogo, we were a little bit constrained because when we start the campaign, we have to set one video that people can watch when they come, and it's like a fixed website. We can't customize Indiegogo's website. So our growth was a lot slower than it was following. But there was a lot of things. We launched with fans, so we let our Orabrush fans know about our product. That brought in about close to $4,000 on the crowdfunding site. But yeah, essentially this graph shows the difference between the revenue being in red and the ad spend, because we pushed the views on our video just like we did with Orabrush. And at first, we were deficit spending. We were spending more than the revenue bringing in for our videos. But eventually we got to a point where we're bringing in a lot more money than we were spending. So yeah, we did thumbnail testing, video variations. What these are, Devon video and Trippy video, and this is something that can be very useful in building a brand on YouTube, is working with people, YouTube celebrities, working with people who are already on YouTube. Charles Trippy's YouTube celebrity, he does a daily video vlog. What we did is we just had him use the Orapup on his dog so that people could see what it does, and then he says, you know, did it work, did it not, does my dog have bad breath? People saw that. You can see a huge spike in pre-orders. That video is still on YouTube. People still see it. It still drives sales. So being engaged with other YouTubers is a great way to build a presence online. No YouTuber is an island, I like to think about. Anyway, once we got out of Indiegogo, we were able to test more variations, targeting different demographics on the website and testing different video variations. So these are all these variations we did, and we were able to really grow up till beginning of the year. You know, we're bringing in about $10,000 to $15,000 a day, which was really exciting for us. Anyway, just to summarize the Orapup campaign, we ended up having, since that pre-order, which started in August till now, we've gotten about 20 million video views, $1 million in products pre-ordered, and 2 million sales to date. So we're very excited about this, and excited that we were able to reapply our model of very data-driven video advertising. Not getting a viral video, but pushing the video with advertising and optimizing along the way. So yeah, that's our story, and I hope that can be a useful case study for how to build a brand online.
Great. What a variety, huh? Just a quick reminder, you'll see it up on the screen. You've got speaker evaluations. They look kind of like this. I think the ones for this session are more of a salmon color, so please turn those in. Wanted to kick off with a couple of questions, but then we'll open it up to all of you for you guys to ask the audience. We went from Cisco. How many countries did you say you have?
80
channels? 80
Cisco.com.
plus Cisco.com.
Yeah, we've got plenty of countries. That's
to,
how many
you
channels we have.
complete startup, Orabrush, with three awesome products now, and 2 big launches to talk about, and you guys somewhere in the middle. Curious to have each of you say a couple words about your programming strategy. It's super different. I think you might have noticed that your videos are 2 to 5 minutes generally is what works best. You were surprised by that because you thought like 1 to 2 minutes is best for Cisco. There's obviously also a publishing frequency that makes sense for each brand, whether it's campaign driven or long-term educational. Could each of you say a couple minutes about what you found works best for your individual business? Maybe starting here, Anthony.
Sure. So with regard to our programming strategy, to kind of reiterate, merchandising driven first, primarily, with a cadence to be, we're certainly looking at kind of the days of the week people are most engaged, and we're trying to figure out ways to really think through what people are going to be alerted by when it launches to YouTube or in the rest of our email that pushes product. But yeah, a lot of product driven, where the cadence of anything lifestyle or promotional is going to be much less frequent than weekly.
So is that like there's a new, and I'm not a motorcycle rider yet, but you can convince me later.
It's
so there's a new awesome helmet company model coming out. Like, are you driven by that sort of product news from the suppliers?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see bi-yearly release cycles, spring and fall, with just about all of our key vendors and apparel manufacturers that are going to be releasing new products. So yeah, that's a big part of it, is that our programming strategy follows kind of our merchandising roadmap, dictated through vendor relationships.
Got it. Great. How about you?
I wish that we had a more unified programming strategy that I could talk about. But if we have 125 new videos in a month, there are probably 50 different folks that are producing those 125 videos. And they each have their own objectives, or each integrating their videos in a blog post or a website. They all have their own reasons. But I think that this is going to really be our year for determining the need for those videos and how we're really going to be more strategic about them. And we really pretty much just focus on the hero on our YouTube channel because we have so many videos flooding in all the time.
How about you? Obviously, we talked about product launch videos. What else are you guys thinking of in terms of using video long term?
Yeah, so I mean, we think about creating engagement videos as well as, more like conversion videos meant to drive sales. Because we feel there's great value in having kind of long-term fans, people that subscribe to our channel or follow us on Facebook, who like the brand, who like content we put out. So, we try to put out videos, every couple weeks at least. The amount we've put them out has varied through the history of the company. But yeah, what we put out, as mentioned before, is very, very data driven. And one of the things I failed to mention when I was speaking is testing video, creating different videos doesn't have to be super expensive. When you're creating the videos, create a video with several different intros. Shoot all those intros at once, or shoot different intro or endings at once. Have different things that you're going to test right up front. But really, a lot with our programming is done with the data, and we run the videos and we see how people respond, and then kind of adjust accordingly.
Is the frequency of those videos at all driven by the purchase cycle? I admit I have no idea how often I should replace my tongue cleaner. How often?
As often as you replace your toothbrush, which is about every 3 months.
So that's
Most
pretty
people
much
don't do
everyone
that.
here needs to go online today, probably, and buy a new Orabrush.
Right, and we also try to play to the market. Like if something exciting is going on, we may want to create a video relevant to that, similar to what was mentioned about the Harlem Shake video. People responded to that. So sometimes we respond when things are going on. Sometimes we have content, just put content out when we have some good ideas. But I think consistency can be a really important thing, so that your subscribers have an idea of when something's coming and know to look to your brand for new content.
So how do you alert folks of that? I know you mentioned a little bit specifically about other social media. Do you guys use social media to drive back when there's a new video, not just stay within that individual channel? You want to talk about that? You mentioned that you're using pretty much everything but Pinterest, which is maybe not a surprise with
And
your
we're
audience.
also thinking about your tool too, to how our subscribers are being alerted, and we're also pushing it through embedding it in a lot of places that are maybe mid or higher funnel on our site. So yeah, we're using everything we can within reason, knowing that if people think that there is a tipping point there, where I think that you start to see churn if you're just all over people. So we're releasing new video every week, but we pick and choose kind of what I would consider A's versus B's and C's.
Interesting to hear. I know, and we were talking about how you classify videos. Can you want to talk a little bit more briefly about that, or a little bit more at length about how you classify the strategy by video type?
So we have a wide range of types of videos, spanning from the high-end brand videos through the sales process into thought leadership in the space, and then moving into solution overviews, and then going into one product, and then really detailing and demoing that one product, and even training on that product after you've purchased the product. So that's how we segment the videos. And I think a lot of our drive-to activity is really around the brand videos. We don't do a lot of drive-to for the other types of videos. It doesn't mean we shouldn't. I think that if we consolidated our efforts a little more, we could spend more of our money driving traffic to the videos that we feel are the most important. We have a lot of videos that get 25 clicks on YouTube, and we could probably live without those. So the brand videos, we do all kinds of advertising. I think one of the new ones that Google's offering is, when people are doing paid search or doing search, they have an option to click on a video within the search results. So that's one of the things that we've been trying out more recently with our campaigns.
One of the
I
things
don't know if that's new anymore. It's a few months old
not
now.
necessarily, but one of the things we hear a lot is folks are really used to optimizing kind of the brand videos at the beginning of the purchase cycle, or the awareness, because that's where a lot of folks are coming from, is the marketing side, versus
That's right.
optimizing more for like the CRM, and once you've bought it, making sure that people keep it, upgrade, purchase again, because people aren't as aware of how to think about what the ROI of that sort of marketing vehicle is.
That's right. You cannot net out an ROI on that, but when you're a big company like Cisco, you have to have brand video, and you have to sort of ensure that your brand is out there, that people know what you do, and that the CXO level folks who aren't looking at your technical videos are still aware of where you're standing in the space. Yeah,
It's perfect.
we need them all. Yeah.
I also love that I didn't pay Abe to say the fact that Dove, and Susie mentioned it earlier, didn't get Real Beauty Sketches, which if you haven't watched, won a ton of awards this year. And it didn't do that just on the backs of people finding it. It actually was seeded, and you mentioned that. As you plan your future growth as a company, especially for smaller folks like Orabrush or still Revzilla, how do you look at your marketing budgets for next year and the media mix? I know that Orabrush, you built entirely off of YouTube, and I believe you even only got distribution through retail because of your YouTube demos, which you didn't mention. How does it factor in your long-term marketing plans? We've heard of this, like, smaller companies that start out with YouTube first and then eventually are going to add other media, or do you plan to stay really native to the platform based on what you've learned about how people research your products?
I mean, I guess I'll go first. I think we're continuing to sprawl. I think if consumers in the Moto universe that could be addressable for us, I think if they know of us, it's because of our service level or our video content. So from my perspective, especially I'm the guy that's kind of signing the checks at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and saying, if it can create value for consumer, give us further insight into what we're doing, or allow our message to spread, in an authentic way. And cringe, I said authentic in this panel. But truthfully, we're going to evaluate it pretty seriously. I think it's we're native to YouTube right now. From the search engine aspect, it makes so much sense. I mean, I know that there are a lot of brands for a lot of reasons that use third-party platforms, and there's a lot that goes with that too. There's a lot of upside there. For us, the trade-off has been YouTube, or we've decided to stay there. But again, it's the syndication factor, and there's we're already doing Spreecast, for example, that's the live tool that we're using to kind of sprawl with it.
Cool. Any other thoughts from you on kind of future growth and what you've learned from the Orapop launch?
Yeah, so one thing I think that we do a little bit differently is we don't usually think about, okay, what's our marketing budget set like in stone. We kind of think about our marketing budget as a percentage of what we can bring in revenue. I mean, if we have areas where it's like, we know if we get this demographic to view our video, every dollar we spend brings in $1.50, we'll spend as many dollars as we can right there, because that's just free money, right? And so we definitely think about that as far as our budget. But yeah, I mean, in building like a brand like Orapop, we have $2 million in revenue so far. We've spent a lot on marketing. We've spent over $1 million online advertising our videos, and so I mean that's a lot how we think about when we're pushing our videos out to our fans.
Awesome. I always love hearing ROI and not just branding, especially with the panelists. It's a good mix. What questions do we have out in the audience? Lots. Let's start with the gentleman in back.
I was curious, the Orapop promotion, you had a YouTuber help promote you. Was there any true view on that video, or was it only on videos you created internally?
And let me just repeat it only so that the recording has it clear. I'll do that. So the question was about the Orapop launch. You engaged a YouTube star to help with the promotion, and specifically, did you also pay to promote that video in marketing?
We didn't pay to promote his video. A lot of these YouTube celebrities, they have quite the followings, and so we've promoted our own videos. We've thought about promoting some of those when we've done some testing. We haven't seen a great ROI on it. But his own subscribers and people who follow him were definitely enough to make the cost of paying him to tell about our product was definitely worth it.
Cool. Who else? In the red?
Yeah, are you seeing any shifts because of the increased number of people using mobile to access your videos?
So the question, is it for all the panelists? Yeah. The question was about shifts in viewership trends and then strategy based on mobile usage. Who wants to take that first? We are seeing, just because someone mentioned
moved
it.
over to the one channel. I think that has a lot to do with it, right? Like that's what that's set up for, mobile.
So from a YouTube perspective, we did change the way channels are rendered and the branding opportunities for brands so that it would work better across not just smaller mobile screens, but also larger connected TV devices and gaming consoles as well. And in some markets, we actually, around the world, are mobile first. So we really want to encourage all brands to think about how your channel experience and videos work across them. If your images are really, really small, people are far away from the camera, that's not going to work as well from a programming and content perspective. I'd be curious what you guys are seeing because your businesses are so different in terms of viewership and how it's affecting you.
I'll go ahead and comment on that. We get quite a few views from mobile, people seeing our videos on phones. One thing we found is when we think about a conversion funnel, people seeing the ad, watching the video, going to the site, making a purchase, we kind of know what metrics we need to achieve through each step of the funnel. And one of the things we've struggled with mobile is the way that they get from the video to our website. On a desktop, people can just click the video and they go to the site. And we can put calls to action in the video, like click this video and you'll go to our site, actually tell them to do that. On mobile, they can't. You can't click and go to the site. If you want to go to the site, you have to click like a more option, and then in the more it has that. And for us, as far as spending on mobile, that's been a killer, because that extra click and having to find the website to click through to has really killed that rate at which people can go. So we haven't pushed mobile with advertising a ton, but we do see very large increases in the number of people who are viewing our videos on mobile.
Hopefully they're viewing them in the Walgreens or Walmart shopping
Yeah.
aisle,
Yeah, that would
which
be
is hard to
great.
tell for now.
I would actually echo that completely. It's the annotation issue, which I'm sure you guys are working on, and the fact that the number of mobile and tablet users is increasing. For us, it's a huge number. I think because people snack on our content a lot, it's kind of a, it's entertainment, time killer. I'm interested in it, so it's less advertising, more utility.
Got it.
Do you shoot differently though with mobile in mind? Do you guys?
I don't, we haven't thought about shooting differently with mobile in mind. No.
I think you got to shoot differently for YouTube, right? Like, yeah, the YouTube video is smaller even on a screen than a television commercial, right? And thinking about that, the style of YouTube videos, it's always like up in your face kind of thing, because a phone is small. A YouTube video, most people aren't having it full-size display. So I think that's something to always be thinking about, is the screen size when you're shooting.
Great points. In the blue?
For three brands that sound like they have pretty dedicated audiences, I didn't hear you talking about user-generated video at all. I was wondering if maybe you could discuss how or why we didn't hear that.
Let me reiterate. The question is, all of you have very dedicated sort of audiences. How are you thinking about user-generated videos, maybe either engaging your audiences for that or reviews, or maybe even curating what you find about your brand?
I'll just leave it at, we're working on it. It's there. It's an opportunity.
I think it is for you. I think for us, such a high value brand, it's really hard to integrate that. I think we have a lot of success in social media leveraging contributions from users or from visitors, but not so much with the video.
How about you?
But it's a great idea.
Yeah, for us, and I probably should have mentioned that in my presentations, user-generated content is huge for us. Every package we send out, every Orapup we send out, we put a little thing in there that says, shoot a video of your dog using the Orapup and send it to us, and we'll put it up. And we've received 200 such videos or so of people using the product. And for us, that's been such a huge part, because when someone wants to buy a product like Orapup or Orabrush, one of the most valuable things they can get is that other people are using it and like it, right?
Yeah.
That there's other people saying, yeah, look, my dog loves it, it's working. So I think it's hard to understate the value of user-generated content.
The internet loves dogs too.
Oh,
Dogs,
it
oh my gosh.
Well,
It's what a winner.
and motorcycle is a passion product.
does.
One follow-up for Abe, just can you clarify? It sounds like you encourage people to send in, but there was no prize and no contest. It was just shows you using the product.
Yeah, and it's funny how this works with Orabrush. We had actually a YouTuber, her name is Juicy Star 07, do a review on us. And one thing that was interesting about that is there's all sorts of people online who want to be like her, who want to be doing makeup reviews like she does. And after she did that video, we had hundreds of girls doing reviews on the Orabrush because they wanted to be like her. So that's something that I think is very interesting. There's times people want to create the content, with the Orabrush because they wanted to be like Juicy Star 07, with the Orapup because they love their dog and they want people to see their dog and them having a good time with their dog. And there's a lot of opportunities to get people to share without having to give them an incentive financially or something.
What's the age range of the demo that you've seen come back and submit UGC videos on your product? Have you seen it across the board, or have you seen it kind of taper as you got older? I mean, for us, it's with an older audience, we see it's a little hard to get them to shoot a video and upload it sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. For Orabrush, we're much younger. For Orapup, we have kind of an older demographic, 40 to 60. So, yeah.
That's fine.
We tell brands a lot, if you're not looking at what content already exists about your brand, you should, and you should think about curating it. It's a missed opportunity. Respond to those. If you don't like the brand, ignoring it's not going to make it go away. If someone responds to your brand a different way, you should curate it and respond to it. If they have a fan video, include it on your channel.
Who have you seen do a great job of that? Have you seen anybody do an excellent
You're
job?
right that pets do really well. We've talked to some different pet retailers. Just go online, look at a couple different pet retailers, and you'll see the difference between someone who does it well and someone who doesn't. There's missed opportunity there. Fashion brands are getting on board, showcasing
Makes
people who
sense.
do haul videos. We actually are out of time, but folks are going to be hanging out here for a few minutes before the lunch. Don't forget to turn in your speaker evaluations, and thank you all for coming.
I'm going to go write down some notes from what I learned
Thanks,
from you
Sarah.
guys.